Living with clarity is probably one of the hardest things to do because we're constantly questioning if we're doing the right thing, especially if you are righteous, meaning you want to do the right thing, you strive to do the right thing. It doesn't mean you're perfect, but clarity is something we all want. We want to know that we're taking the right steps, that we want to believe that everything is happening for the best, that we want to have emunah, which is faith in Hashem, and bitachon, which is unwavering faith and belief in Hashem and God, that He's doing everything for my benefit, even on a personal level or a global level. And it can definitely be very challenging to have clarity, but we can learn from great people, and we can learn from the Torah on how to navigate this world successfully when life is confusing and when life just doesn't make sense. And of course, I'll leave you with a practical tip at the end. We need to internalize that people have never, will never make anything happen. People don't make things happen. Hashem makes things happen. He creates the results. Unfortunately, people carry many burdens in their lives for years, or the way they live, meaning if I would have known A, I would have done B, and C would have happened. And they beat themselves up and they feel bad. If only I would have known X, Y, and Z, I would have had a better marriage. If only I would have taken these parenting classes, I would have raised my kids differently. And my kids probably wouldn't have had these issues. This is a way that a person can live to hurt themselves, to put themselves down, to get nowhere in life, believing that people make things happen. You didn't make anything happen. Hashem wanted you to be this type of parent, to make these types of mistakes, to go through the hurdles in your marriage in order to be where you are now. People don't make things happen. Hashem creates results. Hashem creates outcomes. He makes things happen. Instead, a great person needs to say, it wasn't bashirt for me to know then. It wasn't bashirt. It wasn't meant to be for me to know then how to have these skills in my marriage, or how to have these methods of parenting in order to be that better parent. Meaning it wasn't bashirt. It wasn't meant to be. So one of the ways a great person can live is to tell yourself, this wasn't bashirt for me, in a way where it's long term, in a way depending on the past, or it's having to do with a small situation. If you forgot to pack your lunch, it was bashirt for me not to pack my lunch for work. Or I forgot to call someone to invite them to the event. Of course, it's something you don't want to do, but it was bashirt that I forgot. Okay. After hishtadlut, after personal effort, you sit back and you enjoy the show. If you did your best and you exemplify personal effort, not in a way where you're not sleeping night and day, but you did exemplify personal effort, then you just sit back and you enjoy the show. You do your best and you see how Hashem runs the world. People who are great don't live by the mantra of all or nothing. It's not good to live by the mantra of all or nothing, meaning I kept my diet the whole day, I'm going good. I ate chips in the afternoon, I broke my diet, okay, I'll start again tomorrow. It's all or nothing. So, or okay, my house has to be perfectly clean for me to go to sleep, right? Or, oh, the person hurt my feelings, that's it, I don't like them anymore, I don't want anything to do with them, I don't want to call them, my relationship is just ruined forever. No. People make mistakes. A great person knows that people make mistakes. I make mistakes. If you're going to forgive yourselves for your mistake, usually we're very hard on ourselves, especially women who, we have families, we have responsibilities, and we want things to go a certain way, and we're just try to be very organized, and we're very hard on ourselves. If things don't go our way, we blame ourselves, unfortunately. But we don't make things happen. We don't make things happen. As much as you do what you do in the house, you take care of your home, you don't do anything. Hashem enabled the person to do what they're doing, to run their home, to make shopping, to fold the laundry, to be able to create that Shabbos menu for all those guests, to be able to think, to be able to coordinate, all the guests or all the events or your weekly schedule. This is all a gift from a Hashem. I really did nothing. Hashem enabled me to do it. Yes, I will get the reward anyway, because I'm grateful for this free gift. And I know that it's not me. The second we know that it's me, oh, I do this and I do that, then we want appreciation from our families. We want recognition, right? We want to be treated with respect. Those are all good, but we shouldn't be expecting it. We shouldn't be expecting respect and appreciation, because we know it is a gift. We were given the royal job and responsibility in order to serve our, serve our role, serve our families, do the best we can to take care of our husbands, our children, our families. And this is a privileged role. It's a privileged role. So we don't want to live in an attitude of all or nothing. If a person starts a diet and breaks it, even though they ate the chips, keep going. Keep being healthy, keep exercising, because everything in the physical world is really a muscle for the spiritual world. Just because I made a mistake doesn't mean I'm a failure. Failure is staying down. Failure is not going down, right? We all make mistakes. That's part of a human being, part of our makeup. So if I know that that's the case, then just because I ate chips in the afternoon and broke my diet doesn't mean that the rest of the calories, just like I can eat whatever I want, because they do add up, right? So I could start again, even if I made a mistake spiritually, and continue doing mitzvot, continue working on my character traits and improve, because it does count. The Hanukkah story, our history of Hanukkah, it really is very clear cut that there really wasn't enough oil to last all the days for the menorah to be lit. It really just didn't make sense. It was for sure clear cut that it wasn't going to last. But Hashem doesn't have to make sense. Hashem runs this world in a way where we want to rely on nature, where we know when we wake up the sun rises and and night falls at night. We have these expectations of nature. Hashem wants the world to run this way, but at any time Hashem wants to change the laws of nature, He can do that. Miraculously, that small flask of oil that was really going to last one day really lasted the whole time. And it's teaching us that Hashem can work His magic. Hashem really runs the world. He doesn't have to make sense, and to rely only on Hashem. And it's also teaching us that don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about if you can do this tomorrow. Worry if you can do it today, get it done today, right? If you can light that one wick today, don't worry about doing it tomorrow. Interestingly, there's no halakha, there's no law that if, let's say, someone is lighting candles and then for the menorah, and let's say one of the wicks went out, maybe it wasn't adjusted well, and a person may think, oh, I have to light again. Well, you can, but you don't have to, because you did the mitzvah, you did it already. You don't have to relight, meaning like you did your part. Whether the Hashem decides for it to be lit or not, or to go out, when it's supposed to go out, that's up to Hashem. Results are up to Hashem. It's my job to do what I can with the tools He provided me with, the circumstances He provided me with in life, and that's it. And He can decide if the candle is lit for the whole 30 minutes, of sitting next to the Hanukkah candles, or He can say, you know what? No, it's not going to happen. It's really up to Him. Hashem created the world with the laws of nature in mind, and He can change them whenever He'd like. Whenever it's meant to be done. So we know that without the Torah, the Hanukkah story is teaching us that without the Torah, there really is no world. The word for Yavan has the 3 letters. It's a Yud, a Vav, and a Nun. It's like going there. It's interestingly enough, Rabbi Tznesda Schwartz teaches us that this is the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara first comes in like a little line, and then it's longer and longer. Why? The little line is like a little hint. Here I am. The longer one is the Vav is making himself comfortable, and the nun, the really long line, is telling us that here he's making himself comfortable. Do we want to be comfortable doing the wrong thing? No. But it's all about believing in ourselves that we can change, that we do change, and don't believe the Yetzer Hara. Also, when we are that light, regarding Hanukkah, we know that we want to be that light. Don't put too much on yourself. Don't put too much on yourself. We don't want to be hurting ourselves or taking upon too much. When you take upon too much, you really fall apart. So when you're trying to grow, and of course help the war efforts in Israel to become more, to do more, we've all done so much, and like in ways that we've never thought we could. And it's just amazing. We are creatures of habit. It will lead to creating a second nature for myself if I develop these new habits. And of course, never give up on yourself. Keep on going through these habits and keep on trying, because it will become new. You don't want to be like Yavan. You don't want to be into the philosophy of the Greeks, where, let it come in, let it sit, let the Yetzer Hara sit, let it get comfortable until it becomes a part of you, until you actually live by the ideals of materialism. You don't want to live by the ideals of materialism. You want to infuse yourself with spirituality. The Midrash teaches us that. It says the Mashiach will come riding on a donkey. It's such a beautiful thought. It teaches us that your physicality, which is the donkey, is here to serve you. Now, the word chamar means donkey. It's related to the word humrius, which means physicality. Physicality, meaning I'm riding on my physicality. I need my physicality to serve me. I'm not serving my house, my car, my job, my looks, my jewelry, my money. I'm not there constantly making money, constantly into my house, constantly. No, I will use my car to get from place A to place B, right? I will use my house to do mitzvot, to grow a family. Everything in the physical is there for me to really serve spiritually. And this is what we want. We don't know that if we really, the Mashiach will arrive riding a donkey, but the Midrash is telling us that the physicality is the donkey. Don't let it get to your head. Don't make money 24/7. Don't let it infiltrate your head. Why? If it's going to take space in your head, there really won't be space for anything else. And we want to make space for Torah, for mitzvot. But remember, don't take upon too much, because it will make you fall apart. And I'm going to share a practical tip with you, that one of the ways a great person can tell themselves is when we behave a certain way, when we act. We don't want to act like the Greeks, right? During our history, we don't want to act in a way where life is all about materialism and pleasure, and yet the Yetzer Hara is, the physical world is just wanting things, wanting more things and more things. A person who wants 100, who has 100 wants 200, and they're not satisfied because the other one has 400. This is the nature of a person, to constantly want, to constantly want, and it's great, except it has to be navigated in the right way. I should want to learn more Torah, to pray more, to connect to Hashem, and that, if you satisfy that desire, you won't have desire for all this materialism in the same way. You will have a place for it in your life. There's a place for the house. There's a place for the car. There's a place for vacations. But don't let it cloud your mind, cloud your whole life, take over your brain. Why? Because there won't be space for spirituality. And that's what I'm here for. So a great person can say, how would I act if this was my last moment or my last conversation? Is this the way I want to be remembered? Meaning everything that we're doing, we want to question. Is this the way I want to be remembered? The way we dress, is this the way I want to leave this world? Death and life, or I should say life and death, are so unpredictable. We don't know when someone was born, and we don't know when someone will leave this world. So we always want to prepare for that Mashiach, for Mashiach to come, for us to represent spirituality, for me to be proud of what I'm doing before I leave this world. And we should enhance ourselves to live in the great way, not in all or nothing, but in a way that we're close to Hashem, we're connected, and and hopefully we live by these great mantras, by these great ways, in order to be wholesome, in order to really serve Hashem properly, and of course overcome our Yetzer Hara. Appreciating the insights of Rebbetzin Esther Baylor Schwartz, Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.